You've been lied to. Somewhere along the way, you were told that working hard was the key to building wealth, that if you just put in more hours, sacrificed more weekends, and out-hustled everyone else, you'd win. But what if I told you that the people who actually win, the ones who retire early, build empires, and never worry about money aren't working harder than you? They're just playing a completely different game. Tony Robbins spent over 7 years interviewing some of the world's most powerful investors, billionaires like Ray Dalio, Warren Buffett, and Paul Tudor Jones. What he uncovered became the backbone of his best-selling book, Money, Master the Game. And what that book revealed is simple. The rich don't work for money. They acquire assets that work for them. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact 10 assets the wealthy use to get richer assets that align perfectly with the 7 simple steps Tony Robbins says anyone can follow to escape financial stress and build lasting freedom. These aren't theories, they're tools. Real, working, income-producing assets you can start building into your life right now, even if you've been stuck grinding paycheck to paycheck. So if you're ready to stop trading time for money and start owning things that pay you forever, this might be the video that flips the way you see everything. Let's move into the first step, and the first asset that can quietly change the way you think about ownership, income, and control. Most people never build wealth because they never take control of their financial life. They're too busy surviving. That's how Tony Robbins opens step 1 of his book. And he's right. The problem isn't laziness, it's disconnection. We've been trained to work, spend, repeat. But never pause to ask, is any of this building something that actually works for me? I want you to imagine 2 people. One owns a modest rental property. The other owns nothing but their paycheck. Both go to work, both pay bills, both try to save, but one of them, every single month, receives income from someone else. Rent, passive, predictable. It doesn't depend on their job, their time, or even their presence. That's real estate when it's used as an asset, not just a home. And that's the first shift Tony talks about. Taking control starts with knowing what you own and whether it's owning you back. Let's be honest. Your home might feel like your biggest investment, but it's not paying you. It costs you interest, maintenance, taxes. It's comfort, not cash flow. But that duplex you rent out, that tiny studio you list on Airbnb, that land you lease to a food truck or a farmer, that's an asset. It works whether you do or not. Tony teaches that building financial certainty begins with building what he calls your security bucket. Real estate is perfect for that. It's tangible. It's inflation resistant. It's scalable. But most importantly, it's controllable. You don't have to beg a boss or time the stock market. You just need to own something that someone else needs, shelter. And when you do, you're no longer a wage earner hoping to save enough. You've become a quiet owner, a builder, a collector of income streams. That's control. Now let's move into step 2, where the game truly begins to shift. Because once you know what to own, you need to know the rules behind how the rich play, and how to win, even if you start late. In Money. Master the game. Tony Robbins drops the truth most people don't want to hear. The game of money has rules, and if you don't know them, you lose by default. The financial world is designed to benefit those who own, not those who earn. And while the rest of us are trading hours for dollars, the wealthy are playing a different game entirely, a game built around scale, automation, and leverage. That's where online businesses and intellectual property come into play. These are assets that follow a rule. The average person never learns. You can separate time from income. Think about it. You write a book, create a course, develop a tool, or even publish a high-traffic blog. You build it once, and it keeps working. Not because you're actively pushing it every day, but because systems and algorithms do the heavy lifting. It's not you versus the clock anymore. It's you versus the old version of you, the one who believed you had to show up to get paid. Tony talks about creating what he calls a freedom plan, something that generates income without eating your life. Whether it's an online course, a licensing deal, a YouTube channel, or a drop shipping store, the goal is the same. Create something that solves a real problem and let it run. The beauty of this strategy is that it rewards insight, not just capital. You don't need millions in the bank. You need clarity, execution, and patience. And here's the twist. The most powerful IP isn't always the flashiest. A simple guide that helps someone do their taxes better. A niche app that saves someone 5 minutes a day. These things may not go viral, but they generate trust, traffic, and long-term income. Once you know the rules, that value can scale without your presence. You realize just how much of your income potential has been buried by the 9-to-5 mindset. Now let's move into step 3, where Robbins talks about making the game winnable. And what better way to win than by deploying small machines that quietly stack cash while you focus on bigger moves? By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far and want more topics like this, comment the word "more" so I know. All right, in step 3, Tony Robbins says something deceptively simple. To win the game of money, you have to make it winnable. Not vague, not someday, but specific, realistic, and visible. That means shifting from big fantasies like, I want to be rich, to strategic, measurable moves, like, I want to earn $500 a month from assets I don't have to babysit. That's how the rich think. And that's exactly where something like vending machines or game machines enters the picture. Most people never consider these assets because they seem too small, too low-tech, too old school. But that's what makes them powerful. They're quiet, consistent, and surprisingly scalable. Imagine this, a vending machine in an office lobby. It doesn't argue. It doesn't need training. It doesn't call in sick. It just sells snacks every single day. Same with arcade machines in bars, movie theaters, or family centers. They create value through placement, not presence. Tony talks about creating your income for life plan, assets that produce predictable cash flow while you sleep. Vending and game machines are perfect examples of this. They're not get-rich-quick schemes. They're simple leverage plays. Assets that require some setup, yes, but then continue paying without devouring your time. That's exactly what he means by making the game winnable. Start with something real, something controllable, and the something that gets you moving toward independence. Warren Buffett famously bought a pinball machine at 17 and put it in a barber shop. It earned money every day while he went to school. He used that money to buy more machines, more cash flow, more options. That wasn't luck. That was leverage in motion. You don't need 50 machines. You don't need to go national. You just need one income stream that works while you don't. One piece of the puzzle that proves this game can be won. Not by grinding harder, but by owning smarter. Let's move forward to step 4 and step 5, where Robbins gets into the most important decision you'll ever make with your money: how to allocate it and how to make it last forever. Tony Robbins often says that where you put your money matters even more than how much you make. In Master the Money Game, he focuses on 2 core ideas: asset allocation and the creation of a lifetime income plan. These steps are where most people go wrong, not because they lack discipline, but because they've never been taught how to build stability while chasing growth. Enter dividend stocks and bonds. Let's start with bonds. They're not flashy. They're not going to 10x your portfolio overnight. But that's not their job. Bonds are about protection. They're the foundation in Tony's security bucket, the part of your portfolio that keeps paying even when the markets panic. A well-chosen bond doesn't care if the stock market crashes. It doesn't care if you lose your job. It just delivers steady income like clockwork. Then come dividend stocks, the quiet powerhouses of long-term wealth. Most people chase stocks that go up. The rich? They chase stocks that pay out. A dividend stock literally shares its profits with you every quarter. That means as the company grows, so does your passive income. It's not speculation, it's ownership with benefits. Tony's plan combines these into what he calls your income for life strategy. You don't just hold assets, you design a portfolio that provides predictable income regardless of market conditions. And this is where wealth gets real. Because when your investments pay you automatically, month after month, your stress drops, your options expand. You stop living in survival mode and start building from a place of calm. And if you're looking for a platform where you can actually start building this kind of portfolio with dividend stocks, ETFs, and bonds, I recommend checking out public.com. They make it easy to learn while you earn. I've included my affiliate link below. When you sign up, you support the channel and start your own income for life plan. But here's the real secret. It's not just about owning these assets. It's about balancing them. The right allocation lets you grow in good times and survive the bad. That's the essence of Robbins' all-seasons portfolio. It's not sexy, but it's safe, strong, and smart. Now let's move into step 6, the step most people never reach, because this is where the wealthy stop playing defense and start playing offense. Here is where the tone shifts. Up until now, Tony Robbins has been teaching you how to play smart defense, secure income, diversified allocation, protecting downside. But in this chapter, he unlocks what the ultra-rich already know. Offense is what changes your life. That's where we enter the world of business ownership, crypto assets, and fine art, not just as status symbols, but as serious high-upside investments. First, business ownership. Every billionaire Robbins interviewed had this in common. They didn't just invest in businesses, they owned them. Whether it's a private company, an equity stake, or a startup you build yourself, business is the single fastest way to create scalable wealth. Why? Because it allows you to control value creation. You can hire, scale, systemize, and even exit for 5-10x earnings. In Tony's terms, it's where you finally stop renting opportunity and start owning it. Next, crypto. Yes, it's volatile. Yes, it's risky. But used correctly and sized appropriately in a well-diversified portfolio, crypto becomes a high-potential asset with built-in asymmetric upside. Robbins interviewed billionaires who dedicate just 1 to 5% of their net worth to crypto, not because they expect certainty, but because they understand optionality. The game isn't to bet the farm. It's to buy exposure to a future economy that may reward early conviction. And finally, art. It might seem abstract, but ultra-wealthy investors have used fine art for centuries as a store of value. Blue-chip paintings appreciate over time. Some are fractionalized now, giving everyday investors access through digital platforms. The key insight? Art isn't just aesthetic, it's an asset class with emotion, scarcity, and legacy attached to it. Robbins calls this the aspiration portfolio, assets that not only grow but also inspire. These are the key strategies of the 0.01%. Not random bets, not hype, but targeted, asymmetric opportunities that complement the safety net you've already built. Now let's talk about the final step, the one that makes all the others worth it. Because even if you own all these assets, without the 10th, the game never feels complete. In the final step of money, master the game, Tony Robbins does something unexpected. After walking you through strategies, portfolios, asset classes, and billionaire insights, he shifts the entire conversation. Step 7 isn't about growing wealth, it's about growing you. Because once you have enough, the real question becomes, what are you building it for? That's where the final and most overlooked asset comes in: contribution. Most people never consider contribution as an asset, but it is. It pays emotional dividends. It compounds meaning. And in the wealthiest circles, it's seen not just as charity, but as strategic impact. Whether it's mentoring others, funding causes, creating jobs, or building something that outlives you, contribution transforms money from a tool into a legacy. Tony says it best: the secret to living is giving, not when you're rich, now. Because giving when you have little is what expands your capacity to receive more, with purpose. That's why so many of the billionaires he interviewed have foundations, schools, impact funds. They don't just accumulate, they redirect. That's real power. And here's the paradox: contribution might be the only asset that actually makes you feel wealthy. Even before the numbers say you are, it reconnects you to your values. It reminds you that money is just energy. And when that energy flows outward, it returns tenfold in clarity, connection, and peace. So yes, own the income-producing real estate, build the automated businesses, hold the dividends, the crypto, the art. But don't forget the final play. Make it count. Not just for yourself, but for someone else who may never even know your name, but who lives better because you played this game well. So let's bring it home. We started this journey with Tony Robbins' Money, Master the Game. Not just a financial book, but a blueprint for reclaiming control over your money, your mindset, and your future. Through his 7 simple steps, we didn't just talk about ideas. We tied each principle directly to real, active assets. 10 in total, each one designed to work for you, not the other way around. From automated income to equity and systems, from royalty-generating IP to the silent compounders like your network, energy, and decision filters. You've seen how real wealth is never built by saving your way to safety. It's built by thinking differently, acting deliberately, and building a machine that keeps working, even when you're not. But the most powerful shift isn't just tactical, it's emotional. It's realizing that wealth isn't about someday. It's about how you move today. It's about replacing financial anxiety with clarity, swapping complexity for strategy, and realizing that the most valuable asset you'll ever have is your ability to direct energy, money, and focus toward a vision that actually matters. So here's my question to you now, and it's personal. Which of these 10 assets are you already building? And which one needs your attention starting this week? Comment below and tell me. Be honest. Because when we speak it, we begin to own it. If this video brought you clarity or made you rethink how wealth really works, I highly recommend watching my next video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And if you want more videos that go this deep with real frameworks, no hype, and full transparency. Remember, this video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice. It is important to conduct thorough research and consult with financial professionals before making any investment decisions. The value of investments can fluctuate, and past performance is not indicative of future results. Always assess your risk tolerance and investment goals before allocating your capital. Until next time, stay consistent, stay patient, and stay winning. See you in the next one, Money Magician.